All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tear apart the M&A engagement letter. And I want you to stop thinking of this as some dry legal document. It's not. It's a strategic weapon. It's how a real advisor controls the deal from the start and, most importantly, make sure they get paid.
This right here says it all. This document, it sets the rules of the game. You know, mastering this is really the first step to thinking and acting like a Tier 1 banker. Honestly, this is often where the deal is won or lost before it even really begins. So we're going to break this down into 5 critical parts. And don't think of this as just an agenda. Think of it as your playbook. This is the game plan for controlling the process and making sure you get compensated for all the value you're about to create.
We're going to start with the very first hurdle, and maybe the most important diagnostic tool you have, the retainer. This is where you separate the people who are serious from the people who just like to talk.
Now, on the surface, yeah, it looks like a simple fee, something to cover your upfront work. But you know, its real value is so much more strategic. If you think this is just about covering your gas and coffee, you are missing the entire point.
So is it?
Let me be absolutely crystal clear on this. If you think the retainer is about your near-term cash flow, you are thinking like a small-time broker, not a strategic advisor. Its purpose is way, way more profound.
The retainer is, pure and simple, a skin-in-the-game test. Look, if a potential client refuses to pay a pretty modest $25,000 to $50,000 retainer, they're sending you a massive signal. And that signal is, they don't value your time, and they probably aren't that serious about a deal. This makes sure they're as committed to the process as you are.
Okay, so let's move on to the main event, the success fee. This is the prize, right? But the devil is always in the details of how you actually define your win. This is where amateurs get crushed, and professionals, well, they build their careers.
You're going to run into a few different structures out there. You know, from the classic tiered Lehman formula to just a simple flat percentage. But honestly, the specific structure is way less important than the principles you put in place to protect it.
And this is maybe the most important part. More important than any percentage is the floor. You have to, and I mean have to, negotiate a minimum success fee. Why? Because it ensures that even if the final deal price gets hammered down in negotiations, your firm's work is still profitable. It protects you from doing $1 million worth of work for a 5-figure payday.
Now, let's talk about what that fee is actually based on. One of the biggest traps for a junior advisor is basing their success fee only on cash at closing. Let me tell you, that is a critical error.
A Tier 1 engagement letter defines total transaction value to include all forms of consideration. Cash, sure, but also stock, any earnouts, and especially assumed debt. Just think about it for a second. If the buyer assumes $10 million of a seller's debt, you've effectively cleared that liability right off their balance sheet. You created that value, and you absolutely deserve a fee on it.
Okay, so what happens if a client tries to get cute, tries to sidestep your fee after you've done all the heavy lifting and introduced them to the perfect buyer? Well, that's where the tail provision comes in. Think of it as your insurance policy.
And this shows you exactly how it works. The tail makes sure that if you introduce a buyer, the client can't just fire you on Monday and then sign a deal with that same buyer on Tuesday just to avoid paying your commission. It's not going to happen. This protection usually lasts for about 12 to 24 months after termination. All right, last major section. Let's talk defense. We need to cover the clauses that act as your shield. These are the terms that give you total control over the M&A process and protect you and your firm from a lot of unnecessary legal risk.
Listen, these 2 points right here, they are completely non-negotiable. First, you demand exclusivity. You're the quarterback of this process. You can't run an effective play if there's some other advisor on the field trying to call their own plays. Second, you need standard indemnification. All this means is that you're relying on the information your client is giving you. If they provide bad or misleading data that blows up a deal later, the legal responsibility stays with them, not you.
And just to round this all out, don't forget the practical stuff. Make sure you get reimbursed for reasonable, capped, out-of-pocket expenses. And it's also really important to understand the termination clauses and the potential for breakup fees. Those are what compensate you if your client gets cold feed right at the finish line of a deal you brought them.
So let's just bring it all home. Your engagement letter is not just a contract. It is a tool for control. It's a diagnostic for how serious your client is. It's the definition of your win, and it's the shield that protects your fee and limits your liability. Master these terms, and you master the very foundation of the deal itself. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about.
The way you structure this document from day one, it doesn't just outline a transaction, it defines your entire relationship with the client. So does it position you as just another vendor, or does it establish you as the indispensable strategic partner you are? The choice is yours, and it starts with this letter.